home building and remodeling show. Let's go. Welcome everybody to the home building and remodeling show. My name is Chris Kirby and I'll be your host. I am the owner of 3 construction companies on the Alabama Gulf Coast. The show is about residential construction. We're going to cover topics of home building and remodeling. Are you thinking of doing a remodel or building a home? Are you a contractor looking to improve your knowledge base or grow your business? Have you ever done a remodel project or built a home? There were so many things you wish you knew or that you could have done differently during the process. Then this show is for you. We break down the process of building and remodeling and how to have the best results during your project. Whether you're a DIYer looking for tips, someone looking to hire a contractor to do a project, or a contractor looking to expand your knowledge base or your business. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Stay tuned. And as always, we begin the show with my thoughts on construction, specifically home building and remodeling. Let's get started. When you're looking for a contractor to do a remodel project or build a home, you got to make sure that you ask them questions. Just make sure that they have a license. Here's the thing. Anybody can go. I know here in the state of Alabama, it might be a little bit different in other states, but I know here to build a house, you have to have a state home builder's license. And there is a home builder's licensure board that issues that, and it gets renewed every year. For remodelers here in the state, that same license applies. Any work that involves multiple trades or is at a value of $10,000 or more, you have to have that state of Alabama home builder's license. And so it's an actual card that you carry in your wallet. I'll grab mine so you can see what that kind of looks like. And I have 2 of them, one for each company, Kirby Homes and Kirby Custom Renovations. So check for those. And there's nothing wrong with asking about license, insurance, workers' comp, and those things. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people don't understand, well, these people have been doing this for a long time and they're good at what they do. They may not have an official business and they may not have a state license or any of that type of stuff, but they're good at work. And that's completely fine. I subcontract to people who have been doing work for a long time and they're some of the best around. And just because they didn't pursue that license doesn't make them any less of a tradesman or a craftsman. But that's not the point. So when you're getting a remodel done over $10,000, the reason that you want them to possess that license and have general liability and also have their workers' compensation is because of the liability it presents for you. And sometimes, friendships are at play in these things, especially when you work in a community where everybody knows everybody. So you're going to pick your contractor based on, them. Man, I've seen this stuff ruin friendships. So sometimes personally, it's very tough. I'm on edge when my team has to do work for a friend or family member or a neighbor because you want them to do well. And every transaction isn't smooth. Every client relationship isn't smooth. It's just not reality in the world of contracting. There's no way that you're going to please 100% of your clients. It's not going to happen, but you strive to please 100% of your clients. That's the contractor you need to look for. And now it's time for Shop Talk. This is where I bring in one of the co-hosts, Adam or Mark, and we begin to talk about different aspects of remodeling and home building. Hope you enjoy it.
Because it's hard to live without a kitchen,
In a normal kitchen remodel, you're already, even if you have everything, going to be out a couple weeks.
Right.
So now you're out a couple weeks plus the material.
So you're eating out or eating off the grill. And so anything other than your stove and all that, and then you're having to wash dishes in the bathtub.
That's part of the hard, harsh reality, and that relationship with the client's important because they get a little aggravated if a project's delayed and their kitchen is out of commission, right? Or their bath. It's the same thing. Like if they have a master bathroom remodel and they have kids, right? And then all of a sudden you're remodeling their bathroom, it's out of commission, and then now they're sharing the bathroom with their kids.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't even imagine.
And then you got toothpaste all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, so it becomes a crunch, and especially the larger the family, and now you're in there with the kids,
Yes.
right?
I've been a part of a job before where we already did the demo and started unboxing these cabinets, and they were the wrong ones.
Yeah. And
she went months without a kitchen.
Wow. So what did that? So and we always look at it as a learning opportunity.
An awkward.
Yeah, you got to tell her.
Yeah.
But what did you learn from doing that though? Like make sure you
got
look
to
at the cabinets before, because we just assume because when the cabinets come in, they're in boxes,
right?
And you're like, okay, they're here. So unless you actually peel that box and look,
make sure they're the right color.
So, all right, and then it takes...
It don't really matter, because if you're missing any of the base cabinets or one's damaged, you're out until that next one, because you're not going to get a countertop until all your bases are in anyways.
Yeah.
So you can't have a sink until that's done most of the time.
Yep.
I mean...
And really, when you're doing cabinets, missing cabinets is a pain, because when you're setting cabinets, all of those pieces really need to fit nice and snug. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's... You can't get the countertop done, depending on which cabinet it is, and especially the base cabinets.
Right.
Your plumbing, everything's kind of on hold at that point.
Yep. Okay.
So let's talk about B&I. So business networking in general is not something in construction, or you've got people who aren't necessarily coming out of college that, you know, have this professional background and stuff like that. So one of the things that kind of with me and you, I'm a part of these business groups, and I know that these business groups provide growth on a personal and professional level. And so I like to take people out of their comfort zone.
You ain't lying. I've grown personally a lot in the last couple of months being a part of that B&I, just getting out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, being a part of these groups, man, it really makes you better as an individual. And being a part of a small business, it makes you better in your small business because it takes you out of your comfort zone. And we'll talk a little bit about the structure. So you go to these business network meetings once a week. There's individuals from all different industries in this group, all the different business industries. You may have an accountant, you may have an electrician, you may have a hairdresser, you may have somebody who's in health and fitness.
Right.
So you've got all the different industries, and they group together. And you know, it could be 10 people, and it could be ours group almost has 40 people in it now.
Technically, the B&I's got to have 17.
All right, so 17, at least 17. Sorry. So you're in there, and basically you go around and you do a 60-second speech on who you are and what your company's about, and essentially what you're looking for, also known as the elevator pitch. And that can be very nerve-wracking to people.
Yes. So the first time, you got 1 minute.
Yeah.
Well, ours has got a minute because we only got, I think, 22 members. But
yeah,
my first pitch probably lasts about 10, 15 seconds.
Sure. Yeah, because you're nervous, right?
But then, I find myself sometimes getting into a routine of saying the same thing. So I'm starting to try to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, because what happens is you're practicing for, they call it an elevator pitch because let's just say that you're in a hospital and you're getting in an elevator and you guys somebody's in there and you start talking about your company. Well, typically you only have a couple of floors to talk to that person. That 60-second elevator pitch, that's preparing you for being out in the field and having that conversation rather quickly. That's why it's called the elevator pitch. That's why there's that time limit. You have to be able to project your best self and put your company in the best light and make them understand what you do in that 60-second period. So by doing it every single week, it becomes redundant, but you also know what you're going to say in the moment when you meet anybody, when you're talking about your company. Not having that background. There's some people that are very professional in the group. You get a mix of everybody. Right. You establish the connection. So talk about
relationships with these folks too. Like I had a one-on-one earlier with a young lady
Yeah.
And she came here to the office, and we sat down and talked about our two businesses. She's actually setting up with Candace for Candace to come and give her some design pointers next week. Actually,
Nice. Most of the time, it's not I join the group and I'm instantly going to be able to hand out referrals type situation, right? It takes a little bit of time sometimes to get established in this group, and you're really putting your trust in these people. So after you've been there for a while, trust me, the referrals do start to come. But more than that, you're starting to form relationships, and most of the people are local. And so sometimes the relationship, I would say most of the time, the relationships that you form are the most important part of the BNI network. And it doesn't have to necessarily be an official BNI. I know there are a couple
networking group.
Yeah. One of the things that I would recommend is for you to get out to or find a local business networking group in your hometown. Join that group. Put yourself out there. Don't be scared. We've been trying to get a plumber to our group forever now. And it's very hard as an individual contractor, especially. And I know this is for multiple industries, but in our world, in home building and remodeling, it's hard for that plumber to see the value in the group because
for 2 hours.
Because you're there for an hour and a half, 2 hours a week, and they could be in the field making money, or they've got a job to get to.
Right.
But what they're failing to realize is that they're generating business by being there and meeting these people. So the other people in the group, they're going to put your name out. So if you've got a hairdresser in the group, she's got 30 clients a week.
She's probably the most. Our hairdresser is probably the most successful one
as far as giving referrals, right?
Yeah, because everybody's taking their daughters and stuff.
And that's where you walk into the group. And I have one of our team members that's going to join another group. And he comes to me and he says, Chris, I don't necessarily know how these people can help me and I can help them. So I said, because he was like, well, one does hair and the other one does this. And I don't know how that works out for us. And he's really raw, right? I said, you need to be in this group. I really think it'd be beneficial for you because he knows how to build. He knows how to remodel. But this group, for his professional development and getting outside of that comfort zone is going to make him reevaluate how business relationships work.
Right.
So that hairdresser that she does hair. How can she help a contractor?
She might have a friend that's wanting to build a house.
Bingo. They're sitting there getting their hair cut.
You're the first person she's going to refer.
Exactly. And you got to establish that rapport. Being in the group doesn't necessarily mean this person's going to give you the referral, right? You've got to show up. You've got to be consistent in that group because if you're not, then they're going to be less likely to put your name out there. And if you are consistent, even if they know a contractor, right, over time, you build that relationship. And they're going to eventually start giving your name out because they've seen you, they've built a relationship. So it doesn't matter what industry they work in. They're all connected. They're all looking to build a house or get a bathroom remodel. So sometimes they're just talking about it. You want to keep your name at the top of their mind. That's why going to these groups and being consistent.
And that's what the consistency is about.
And then you start getting the referrals. And that's organic advertising.
You keep telling them your needs every week, and then, they're always listening out for that when they're doing their thing around their people.
Exactly. If you hear, hey, I need to get my hair done.
Boom. I know where to send them.
Exactly. And you're going to do that, and you're going to be more inclined to do that if they have been doing the same thing for you. You feel a little more obligated because they've been sending you business. You want to return that. And so any of these business networking groups, official BNIs or not, they're very lucrative as far as personal development, professional development, and relationship building.
Right.
Thanks for joining us today. As always, we are grateful for our listeners and your continued support. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media via Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Get more info at our website, www.thehomebuildingshow.com. And as always, remember who we are, the Home Building and Remodeling Show.